Hello, and welcome to tonight's live stream. Just getting set up here. I'm going to set up my phone so I can see the chat. Hello, Heather, how are you? Hi, Gavin. How are you tonight? So I'm doing this a little bit different. Surprise, I'm trying something new. So tonight, hi, Brandy. Yes, thank goodness it's Friday. Although they all kind of run together for me, so Gavin is doing good. Awesome. So I wanted to try something a little bit different tonight, and I wanted to share my art like I've done on previous ones, but I also wanted to do kind of like do a chat and maybe some questions and answers and get a little more feedback from you guys tonight if that's possible. Now, I want to try to expand how I'm doing some of my stuff, and I would like to do some live streams with multiple cameras if possible. I tried to do something with the computer tonight, and our computer was kind of being a pain, so I had to switch back to the iPad, but I had to kind of set it up differently. Hey, Delaney, how are you? So, I'm just going to wait a couple minutes, see if some more people come on. Heather says, I can see you, but I can't hear you. Obviously, this is my issue. Delaney says, good, how are you? I'm doing great, just trying to get this figured out, trying some different things. Just kind of wait to see what's going on. Gavin says his baby brother said hello when he saw you. Well, hello to Gavin's baby brother. I'm sorry I've got to kind of look down to see my chat. I know I should try to make eye contact with the camera. I'm not a professional. So I'll try to keep on the chat and still kind of focus on the camera. This is more of a learning process for me, as a lot of my stuff is, as I continue to try to expand and try new things. So first things first, if you guys saw my thumbnail, you saw this little guy. So this is Gus. I've had Gus for a few years now, and he is my convention mascot, was kind of my art mascot before I designed this guy. And the guy on my shirt is William. And I didn't do this artwork, I did the original sculpt, and my friend Axton did this artwork. And you'll notice in the description of all my videos, I will put a link to Axton's stuff, so if you ever want to check out his other work, he does incredible stuff. So he is part of a group called Tank Zombie Studios with Jesse, and lots of times Jesse will come on the chat too. They both do awesome things, so be sure to check out their stuff. But Gus is a little like Mogwai type character. Hi Lisa, how are you? Heather Alston says, I still have no idea why I can't hear you. You know, I'm making up what you're saying and having a great time of it. All right, everybody else can hear me okay? Is it just Heather's issue? Because I don't really want to have to go to chatting, like typing everything out while I'm trying to film this. Okay, so Delaney can hear me. Gavin can hear me. Okay, so we're gonna blame Heather. So I'm gonna point at the camera and say Heather, as hopefully she can read my lips, and then she'll just make up everything else that I'm saying. Lisa can hear me and Brandy can hear me. It's definitely Heather's issue. All right, so anyway, this is Gus. He's made out of needle felt, inspired by Mogwai from Gremlins. He's got like the eyes that they use in plush, and he's got a polymer clay tooth that I've glossed. Take a look at him. Hi Jessica, how are you? So that's Gus. I'm going to move on. I'm going to show you some other things. Hello, Kujen. How are you? So I have been working with my 3D pen a little bit more. So I've got this monster I made, about, I don't know, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. So it's just kind of my own little creation. He's got polymer clay teeth that are these silver spikes. And then he has these pearl beads for his eyes. He's kind of a mess. He's kind of still a neat like alligator type monster, but I'm still really learning. This is only the third piece I've done with it. And then last night I did another 3D pen thing. I'm looking at the chat. Kujin says good, and you, I'm doing great. Gavin says if you can put captions on live streams, that would be great. Yeah, I don't know what that takes. I'm not for sure. I know it'll put captions on some of my other videos, but I think that's all on YouTube's end. Anywho's, so last night on the live stream, I made this little alien. So this is my fourth, obviously, 3D pen creation, but I did watch a lot of tutorials between this guy and this guy. So I definitely feel like there was an improvement when I did this guy. I learned a lot on how to build up the structures. There are some things that you could do to smooth it out. There's a mini iron that looks like the Monopoly piece iron on the top. It's just a small little iron. And then it's a metal rod. I think of it, kind of like a soldering gun or soldering iron. And you just melt the plastic and smooth it. And then you can sand it and then, do whatever you need to do after that. Brandy says his eyes are awesome. Yeah, those are glass beads. They're like those, like melted glass droplets. I don't know what they're actually called. I remember them from Renaissance fairs and they called them dragon eyes. But what's nice is he's all translucent. So even behind his eyes kind of shine through. And I talked about last night putting an LED in him. I haven't done that yet. But I thought I could even kind of open him up in the back and put like just a small one in there and just see how it looks. And I think it would be fun to use the translucent for like sun catchers in the window. And I thought about even doing like a butterfly. And a lot of them, when they do the 3D pen, they'll have a printout and they'll outline it. And so that would work really well for like the butterfly's wings. And then you could heat up the ends of the wings and attach them to the body. So I'm fairly happy how this guy turned out. I think he's got a lot of personality for just being a very basic little alien. Let's see, what do I want to share next? It's my little show and tell. And if anybody has any questions, keep them coming. Anything you want to talk about, any ideas you want me to make. Gavin asks, have you ever thought about using spare parts from junk around the house to put in your creations? Well, I am going to do a little live stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time that's going to be a little robot. And I'm going to use leftover like hardware pieces like screws and bolts and stuff like that. I haven't yet like just picked things around the house. But that's something I would definitely, would like to do. And if that's something you want to see, Gavin, let me know for sure. And I can definitely jot it down in I have a little idea journal here, my little Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy number 15, where I put my ideas in there. But I can write that down. We'll put, Gavin says I'd love to see it. Well, then let's make it happen. Junk monster. Now, is there any restrictions on this, Gavin? I mean, am I able to use like Warbler to keep everything together, or clay, or whatever I decide, or does it have to be all the just spare parts just glued together? Gavin says no, just use whatever you find. I do it all the time. All right. Brandy says found object art. Brandy does some amazing things with things she acquires from like, was it like Goodwill, stuff like that, like frames and different repurposing. So I can use like wires and glue then to put it together. All right. Got that for a video idea. Gavin says, just today I used the inside of a tape measure as a pulley. Cool. Yeah, and I think that would be fun, especially right now I'm not buying any more art supplies. Cow is on. Hi, Cow. It always sounds funny. Hi, Cow. So I'm not buying any more art supplies now. I have quite a bit here, but it would still be fun to do some projects with stuff I have around the house. I think that's a great idea. So I'll definitely look and see what I can come up with. It probably won't be this next week, but maybe the week after. Somewhere within the next few weeks, I'll have a video. I do my edited videos now on Wednesday. I haven't really announced that because I keep changing, so then I feel like I need to explain myself. So instead, I'm just, they're there. Everybody can watch them after the fact. The live stuff, I'm starting to get a little more schedule and put that out there. So another piece I did on a live stream that I haven't shown after it's baked, and I'm still thinking about glossing it some, but I did this monster face. Looking at my camera thing here, try to get it in frame. I need a director. So I did this monster face. It's just a little wall hanging. It has an opening in the back that you could put a nail through. So he's just kind of a zombie Frankenstein-ish type monster. I'm thinking about glossing the teeth and then the eye and the eye socket. Give that a more wet, disturbing look. This guy's a little more serious, I guess, than a lot of my monsters. Definitely more of things of nightmares, but not too extreme. But he was a fun piece to do, and he was kind of a test piece because I want to do some more faces and more characters as wall art, maybe a little bit bigger. He turned out a little smaller than I was planning. So there's that guy. Another thing I did on a recent live stream is some wonky weirdlings. I did them on live stream last Saturday. So I did a bunch of them. So I'm going to bring them up. Can I show them to you? So I got this guy. Silver and gold. And then I have his counterpart, which is gold and then silver. And he's got lots of eyes. And then I have this three-eyed one. And all these wonky weirdlings, their eyes glow in the dark, so that's a lot of fun too. Especially when I leave them down here in my art room and I shut off the lights and there's all these little glowy, beady guys. And then there's this four-eyed fanged one. And I've got this little Cyclops guy. And he's got these little like nubs where his horns haven't quite come in yet. And he's got his one little tooth. He's like rah rah. And then I've got this little guy. Just another little wonky weirdling. All right. So I've got those. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Any other ideas of things you want to see me try on my channel? It's kind of quiet. Hello. Brandy says, adorable. I love the four-eyed one. Thank you, Brandy. Get you another look at him. Delaney says she would love to see some Castle Crashers wall hangings. I know we've talked about that before. Brandy wants more metallic wonkies. So I'm going to make a note of Castle Crashers wall art. All right. I'm going to share with you some of my shell monsters. So I did on one of the live streams this big guy. And so he's got a larger shell than average. And he's the first one that has like a little companion guy. So he's got a little like one-eyed slug, and it helps him support. It's hard to show you on here, but that way it doesn't rock back and forth. A lot of these shells need something to support them. Otherwise, they kind of roll if you get too much weight at the top. Delaney says, bring back monthly mashups. I've thought about it, Delaney. They do take a lot of time, which I'm not against spending. But I think I might change the format a little bit. Brandy says, yes, I agree. I love the mashups a lot. And I've never finished the November one, because that's when the whole COPA FTC thing was going on, and I just kind of needed a break. And so that kind of got derailed because of that. And I believe the winners of that one was Pikachu and Godzilla, which honestly needs to happen. So if I do bring them back, I think I might just ask for suggestions and maybe not do the voting. Or if I do the voting, not give myself... I give myself a little more time to get it done, because I'm worried, you know, like I was kind of felt rushed on it, and it was a pretty tight schedule for me. And it really depends on how everything plays out in the future with the way everything's going on in the world right now. Jessica says, I love the monthly mashups. Well, thank you, Jessica. So that sounds like a popular choice. So let me write it down and see. You know, I'll start with getting the Pikachu Godzilla done. I'll double check to make sure that's the winner. Delaney has a good idea. She says maybe do it during your video so you know in that night. Brandy says suggestions and you can pick what you feel like doing. Yeah, I like that idea a lot, Brandy, because I always thought, oh, these are all choices I like. And then I'm like, but those two together, that's going to be hard. Or, you know, and I like the challenge. So I don't want to, like, present it that I don't. But sometimes it's just like things, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's tricky. Delaney says the voting, I mean, yeah, I know what you meant on that, Delaney. And no, and I do like that. And we could, you know, do that as like maybe the Friday night live streams, if I continue to do those, they could be the voting, you know, and then I'll pick like 2 weeks out. That Wednesday will be the mashup or something. But I do like that idea of the voting in one night, if we go that route. So voting on live stream. And during that, I mean, I could be working on something else too and whatever. To see how to do it. But anyway, I'm bringing this guy back up. I don't know if everybody got a good look at him. Have to see where everything's lining up here. Got this nice delay between the two screens, so. But I was really happy how this guy turned out. He's got a lot of sparkles. He's used the galaxy clay that I had left mixed up from the one Let's Make a Monster live stream. And then he's got pearl eyes for him and his little buddy. Hi, MJ Fan 10. How are you? He says maybe make it a bi-monthly so it's not as much of a time crunch. Yeah, that's a good idea. I do like that idea too. And I do have more time for my channel. So don't get me wrong. I mean, it's worth it. It's just it's the extra stress, if that makes sense. And I was doing a lot of planning today, and I've came up with quite a few new ideas I want to try on the channel. And I'm trying to figure out like how many of the edited videos I do, which to me, like the longer projects are definitely the edited videos. Because if I have something, you know, a sculpt that's going to take 5 hours, I don't necessarily want to do that, you know, in a live stream. I mean, I like to keep it around an hour to 2 hours max. Plus, a lot of those I had to do them in multiple baking sessions, and I'll kind of reach back here. Oh, the turtle was the first one. So you can see him. And I know he was several, and his blast was a separate piece that I baked. And it just, to build it up and do it, like I said, maybe it's 4 or 5 baking sessions. I'd have to look back at the video. But yeah, I mean, if people want it, I definitely want to, provide content that people enjoy. And if there's something, that stands out, I'm definitely willing to go back to it and give it a try. So, all right, and I've got a few more. This is another large shell monster that I made a while back. And this guy's a snail one, obviously. So he's got some swirl of colors in there. He's got his little tooth. And he's similar because his little eye stalks, his eyes come out as these little stalks instead of down where I put them for a lot of the faces. But the snail ones don't take quite as long. They're still fun to do, and I think he's got a really expressive look. So I want to do some more like this. Let you get a good look at the little snail guy. All right, and then I have this shell monster. He's a little more goofier. Did a little more detail on him, added some eyelids, some texture around his face. And he's got some different colors swirled in there too. And his shell's a little bit different, but he still has the basic, we call this the Carl shape. So he's got the basic Carl shape. His cute little buck teeth. Let you get a good look at him. MJ Fan says, gotta say, I love the idea for the shell monsters. Love the goofy faces too. Thank you. We've got one more here to share with you guys. It's a little bit different. So most of the shells I get that I've done with these guys were these like hermit crab type shells. But I ended up getting a lot of these clam shells. And so a friend of mine gave me the idea to do these little monsters in the clamshells like this, and I thought it'd be fun to give him a little like pearl that he's kind of protecting. That's his treasure. So this one's kind of a metallic. It's got some different swirls. It's got pearl in there, and he's got glass beads for eyes. And then I gave him a little bit different of a mouth. And I've done several on these too. They're a lot of fun, and it gives me something different to try in the same theme, but a different style. And the clamshells kind of rock a little bit. So I did put a little bit of clay back there and baked it as if it's just kind of like a little rock that it's resting on. But that helps it from rocking back and forth on the table. Brandy says that is very cute. Thank you, Brandy. So that's all the clay creatures I have here, but that's not all the stuff I have. So some of you that have been watching my channel for a while have seen the Necronomicons I've done. So I've got this one. So this is a larger one. The teeth are all polymer clay, and the eye is one of those glass, little melted glass, the same as this little alien guy, what he has for his eyes. But it's just like a white one. And then I thought it'd be cool to have, one eye and then one eye socket. And this is all done with Warbler, and then it has a brown wash over it. And then I textured the whole thing. And then on the back I did some of these like kind of screaming faces, and then just, tentacles or vines, and then I did these little like spore type things. I was just trying to find different things that would make it look creepy and evil. And this book already had kind of a darker finish to it. So doing that brown wash, it kind of, everything blends. And by doing that, I was able to leave it so you could open it. And what's cool about this is it was an old archival book for portraits. And I kept these in here. My brother got this for me. But this little checkout tab here says September 8th, 1937. So I would say it's at least that old. This one's from 1970. The tag inside here says University, Nebraska, February 1869. And I don't think it's that old. I think that's just like their copyright date or something. But this is a lot of fun. It's kind of warped a little bit, and I've tried to get it to stay flat, and I really couldn't. So at some point, I might go back to it and add like a little leather strap and have it snap, just so it stays a little bit tighter. But this was a fun piece to do. I like Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead movies, and I like that campy horror type stuff. Nothing too serious. So this is a fun piece to do from that. And I like just how the different mediums and stuff kind of blend together on it. So set this down, and I do have one more little Necronomicon to share with you guys. So this one does not open. It was just like an old book of some kind. I don't remember what now. Lisa says the book is so cool. Thank you, Lisa. But it was, I think I got this one at a garage sale. It was a little bit smaller, obviously. So I wanted to do something a little bit different with it. And in the 80s, and I mean even now, but I was a big fan of like Iron Maiden and stuff. And their mascot was Eddie, which is this undead zombie guy. And so I thought it'd be cool, instead of having the Necronomicon's face on there, put his face on there. And I got a lot of feedback as I was making this from a lot of my artist friends, and I cannot stress how much, it helps to get feedback from other people. And you have to be able to take criticism as long as you can recognize that it's, being constructive. Because when I thought I was done with this piece, I knew I wasn't happy with it, but it still needed something. And they were able to give me direction and help me make this a better piece. And I love how it turned out. And the way his face now is, it looks more like it's pressing out from the book. And when I originally had it, it looked like it was just kind of sitting on there. So, definitely if you're into art or anything you do, it's important to, be able to accept that constructive criticism. So that's a look at him. His teeth are all polymer clay. He's got a nice dirty wash over it. His eyes are also polymer clay. And then they've got kind of an acrylic pearl. I'm getting him off to the side there. So I'll bring him in a little bit. Hide behind him. This will be my new face. So you get a good look. Now the piece of metal and the screws, I just got them at Ace Hardware here in town. And then I just applied a brown acrylic wash over everything to kind of dirty it up. On the back, I thought it'd be boring to just have a texture, and I didn't know what to put on it like I did the other faces. So I thought it would be cool to carve in a lot of some of their famous songs, or some of my favorite songs by Iron Maiden. So I thought that was a fun way to finish up the piece. Brandy says, incredible work. Thank you, Brandy. So, and then I've gave it a wash. Sorry, I'm just checking out the chat. Lisa says, yeah, it looks like he's just coming out at you. Love it. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, it's took a lot to get it that way, and I can't remember how many hours I spent on it, probably 10 to 15 hours total. But it's worth it to spend that extra time. Now, I used like glue to glue it all, like Mod Podge, and then I also gave it a wash with the brown acrylic over the edges, just to get it all dirty and make it look like an old ancient evil book. So, all right. So that's all I've got to share with you guys right now. Is there anything else you guys want to chat about tonight We've got 12 people on here, so it's a good group. I mean, it's always a good group, whether it's a 1 or 20. This is a great chance if anybody has any questions or any other suggestions for video ideas. I love hearing what you guys want to see made. And I definitely, I want my channel to be something that has a variety of things and covers a lot of interests. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it needs to be specialized, which, I mean, to me it is. It's my art. So I think it's okay to have variety in it, and it keeps it, for me, it keeps it from becoming stale. So, yeah. But I'm going to wait to see if Brandy says Tucker and Dale versus Evil might be your kind of movie. Yeah, I think I've actually added that to a watch list, either on Hulu or Netflix, but I haven't checked it out yet. I don't think I've seen that one. MJ Fan 10 says, I enjoy tuning in because you work with so many materials personally. Gavin says, I have nothing to say. The stream was perfect. Thank you, Gavin. I appreciate it, guys. Tomorrow morning, I will be back on at 10 a.m. Central Time to make a little robot. And then on Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Time, I will be doing the Let's Make a Monster live stream. And that's the one where the viewers get to pick, like, the monster attributes, like how many eyes, horns, all that good stuff. Brandy says, I enjoy the variety you offer too. Thank you. Lisa says, yes, this was fun. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah. I do want to do an art room tour. I know people have asked about that, and they want to know my setup. So I thought I would take some videos separately as far as how I do my filming for the quick look videos, where I take my photos at, how I film when I'm sculpting. I know if other people are wanting to start a channel or try different things like that, hopefully that'll be helpful. Plus, I think it's always fun to see how people organize their stuff. And I have so you can see back here, I have a lot of artwork from other artists, and that's my inspiration. The back shelf is all my stuff, but the side panels, all the 2D art, is art I've acquired through the years going to conventions and getting commissions and stuff. And I love getting art from other artists because you're getting usually something that's not, like 99% of this stuff is, things that aren't anywhere else. And so that's a lot of fun, to get stuff that you don't see like in Target and Walmart. And I have a wall of Godzilla artwork that's all original. So I definitely love sharing that with everybody. So yeah. All right, if nobody else has any questions, we'll end this here. Had a lot of fun sharing my creations. And if you guys do have any other ideas, you can leave it in the comments down below. I read all my comments and I try to respond to all of them. So Gavin says, I do. You do have a question? Now it's awkward silence. Yes. Well, Gavin, ask the question. Don't keep me hanging here, bud. Gavin asks, will you go to North Carolina after COVID? I don't know. Not immediately after. If there's, a convention in the future, like, next year after that, depending on how everything else is going, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I think it would be a lot of fun to, do some different conventions in different areas. So that would be great. All right. Jessica says, been kind of quiet because I don't know what to say. say whatever. You have any ideas for, is there anything from pop culture that I like to make stuff that you don't see everywhere? Even though I'm like into Star Wars, I might do like, I've done a mashup like a jaw while holding Bender from Futurama, stuff that you won't see from, Disney. Jessica says whatever. Okay. Yeah, but like I said, if anybody has any ideas, they can always leave them in the comments. I read all those. I've got my idea book. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And Gavin says, oh, I love Futurama. Yes, it's a fun show. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hopefully I see you guys on tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for sculpting of the little polymer clay robot. All right. Thanks for watching, and remember, never stop creating. Bye!